Hello everyone, this is the Mgtow Cowboy. Mgtow Cowboy here, coming at you guys one more time. I wanted to make a quick video talking about the top two reasons why I think that men go Mgtow. But first, I want to dedicate this video to, what's his name? Renegade One. I would like to dedicate this video to Renegade One. Unfortunately, it has come to my attention that he passed away the day before yesterday. I was a couple hours away from going from work. I was about to go to work, and I saw that Janky show had a live stream, so I decided to jump in real quick. And I very quickly ascertained that, unfortunately, it apparently, according to Janky show, Renegade One committed suicide using a pistol. I don't know the details, and that's not confirmed, but from all indications, it seems that that's what happened. And I wanted to mention that, and I wanted to mention that Renegade One was partially, he was partially an inspiration. He was an inspiration to me, at least partially, to start my channel. And there was a time when him and I were talking a lot over the phone, specifically last summer. Renegade One would host these online, or I'm sorry, not online. Renegade One would host these on the phone conference calls, and he would call me with like 4 or 5 other people on the line. I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry, I'm not tech savvy. I think it's called like a conference call, where there's a whole bunch of people on the line, and we would just sit around and talk about Mgtow for like an hour. And these were like mostly young men in their 20s, and Renegade would talk about how how we have to start caring for ourselves, and how we can try to stay positive and motivate ourselves. And so, I wanted to dedicate this quick little video to him. It's very sad to hear that of his passing. Anyway, I'm sorry. Moving on. I wanted to talk about the top two reasons why I think men go Mgtow. The first one is they see family members or their father or other men in society get divorced, and they see what happens to the man. Quickly, a personal anecdote. I like to bring up my father. I saw my father get divorced, and I saw what happened. My father lost 2 investment properties and his house, the house that his father gave to him. It was all given to my mother, or the entire familial estate was awarded to my mother via the family court. And I remember how bitter my father became, and how unhappy and angry he became. And to this day, I don't really think that that's all gone. I think, unfortunately, he still carries some of that with him, and that's very sad. And I think that motivated me to inadvertently swallow the black pill, or I'm sorry, inadvertently swallow the red pill, and see female nature for what it is. And I think a lot of young men, I think that's what happens to them. They see what happens in a divorce. And then the second reason I think a lot of young men are going Mgtow these days is because on the other side of the coin, there are also a lot of young men who didn't have any father figure at all, or who didn't have a father in the home. That is to say, most likely the raising of the child was primarily the mother's responsibility. So we would be talking about single mother households. I think a lot of young men at this point I want to bring up the movie Fight Club. We remember in the movie Fight Club, I can't remember his name, but you have the main character. His alter ego is called Tyler Durden, and Tyler Durden and him talk to each other. This would be essentially like someone talking to themselves. And Tyler Durden at one point says, we're an entire generation raised by women. Maybe adding another woman to this scenario is the last thing we need. And he was talking about I think her name was Margot, this woman in the story who was like essentially the main love interest of the story. Years ago, I didn't understand, but now looking back, and I remember seeing the movie like 3 or 4 years ago, whatever. It had a much more profound effect on me. I understood, and I think that's a perfect illustration of what I'm talking about. A lot of young men now. So let's say like the millennials, and of course like the youngest generation, the Zoomers as we call them, the Zoomers and the millennials. I thought I remember reading last year, a year or two ago. I think it was a year ago. 42% of all recorded live births in America had no father present. 42% of all live births recorded in the United States were to unwed mothers. So the point I'm trying to make is there's a whole segment of the population of boys that have no father figure in the home. Well, what ends up happening? They get exposed very early to female nature, and there is no balance to this, because they might have a father in the home. I think a father helps bring balance to the family. In fact, I don't claim to think. At this point, I claim to know. You guys can look it up. There's plenty of studies that talk about, for some reason, single parent homes, which is just like code for single mother homes, children are much likely to engage in all manner of social problems arise from not having a father in the home. For both boys and girls, the chances of the child experimenting with drugs, the likelihood that the child will drop out of high school, the likelihood that the child will never be able to get into post-secondary education, like in university level studies, the likelihood that let's say if it's a girl, the likelihood that she will experience teen pregnancy goes way up. The likelihood that both for boys and girls, the likelihood that they will be involved, that they'll get caught up in the criminal justice system. There's all sorts of negative things that tend to happen statistically more likely when there's not a father in the home. And I think that's another reason why many young men are gravitating towards Mgtow, because they've experienced it. They didn't have a father. They experienced Mother Nature, or I shouldn't say Mother Nature, I'm sorry. They've experienced female nature through the mother, and it wasn't all peaches and cream, right? And so, I wanted to share that. I think we're reaching. It's like a perfect storm, where there's going to be just a wave of Mgtow men in growing numbers. So anyway, that's basically it. It was good talking to you guys. If you like the video, please please subscribe, and please feel free to leave a comment. And then again, lastly, rest in peace, Renegade One. All right, take care now.